And I generally feel excited about this season. I think I say that every year, but
I want to say I'm excited every year too, but I feel like these last 7 years have made me more of a realist than ever. Even though last year I really thought we were going to go crazy, but this year, even in spite of last year, I really feel like, yo, we're going to go crazy now. Because last year I assumed that we were going to be okay with Nathaniel Hackett. I really gave him the benefit of the doubt. And early on, you could tell you could really tell game one. Like game one, it was like, yo, this dude might not have it. But I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I kept giving him the benefit of the doubt.
I was at that game. I was in Seattle.
Oh, yeah, I heard you were at that game.
Yes. And it was like, ooh.
Yeah,
I mean, it was so fun.
People killed him for it. You know what's crazy though? It's hindsight is 2020 because when I was watching it at a bar in Long Island, and I really felt the same way. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why. I was like, let's kick this. We got it. Like my instinct was to kick it too, but I didn't know that they asked Russ like, where do we got to get? You know what I mean? They were trying to plan for the kick, but at the same time, in hindsight, I'm like, oh yeah, why wouldn't we go for it in a 4th and 5 at the crib? Because like I'm thinking about it afterwards. I'm like, yo, McManus never made a 65-yarder in his life. Most people never have, right? He's never made 61, 62, 63, 60, none of them. He's like 0 for 6 at that time. And I'm like, yo, you think Russ don't want to beat Geno? You think Russ ain't gonna die for that 5 yards? Russ is gonna give his life to get that 5 yards. And I just felt like he shouldn't have been thinking like I was thinking. He's the head coach. He's supposed to be thinking like, yo, we just paid this dude $1 trillion. Let him go get it at the crib, at his old stomping grounds.
Looking at all those people that he played with and his coach, with Pete Carroll and everything, it's just that was formative. Like, how do you lead? It's just like a relationship. It's literally a relationship, and he's gone. It's the first year that he's away.
Yeah, and then people, a lot of them were booing him. Like it was like
no, they were mad.
So I'm just like, yo, if I'm the coach, like in hindsight, I'm like, bruh, I'm giving you the opportunity to shut them up. You know what I mean? Because you got a whole bunch of people in there that expect it out of you anyway. Like a lot of people know you can do it. Go do it and remind them, like, yeah, you didn't get me. Geno's not me. And I feel like that changes his whole season, honestly. I really think that Russ doesn't second-guess himself if Hackett doesn't second-guess him week one. And then just the fact that we signed him, and I thought it was a good idea at the time, too, because I was like, I really thought us getting Hackett equals Aaron Rodgers. Once I saw we didn't get Aaron Rodgers, I was like, yo, we done messed up now. We done gave a guy a head coach job that hasn't really been a coordinator. Like, he doesn't run the show. He's not proven. What are we giving this guy a head coach job because Aaron Rodgers likes to play darts with him? Like, this is crazy.
I did like his hype though. I mean, I fell for his hype. I fell for his energy. Somebody who's that excited, like that made me excited. I felt like he was a lot less lackluster than we had before.
Definitely more energy than Vic Fangio. Right. Definitely. So that was a nice breath of fresh air. But it's almost like.
But the leadership quality, it takes a special kind of something to be an actual head coach of an NFL team.
Absolutely.
It's not just you're put in the place, and we've tried it. But I think this year, I think we're on to something. I think we're on to something. Do you?
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, in hindsight, it's easy to look back at the Nathaniel Hackett experiment, and you could just see it like introductory press conference when he was like, I'm like, bruh, am I really here? Like, y'all crazy? Like, it's like he had imposter syndrome the whole time. There's a number of press conferences. He said, I second guess every decision I make. I'm like, yo, you cannot be the head coach second guessing every decision. You got to believe that what you're saying to do, like, you believe it was the right thing to do every time. You can't be like, I don't know. You got to know it. And he just didn't have it to be a head coach. And it was obvious. But, and juxtapose that to Sean Payton. Come on, man.
It's Sean Payton. I mean,
Sean Payton is the perfect coach for the Denver Broncos, especially after this 7 years that we just endured. Like, we've been horrific on offense. Even our Super Bowl year. Like, we had our moments with Peyton on offense.
But
That
no,
year.
definitely our
But really,
defense
the
did
Broncos offense has been suspect for some time now. And I feel like we went and got statistically the greatest offensive coach in the history of football. His team scored more points than anybody else. We've lacked points. We have a solid defense. We've had a solid defense for years. We really haven't wavered that much from the no-fly zone. Like, we stayed pretty consistently good, except for when we had a mountain of injuries one of those years with with Vance.
Yeah,
But
and that was it too.
I like us on defense. I want to see my man Sanders be healthy. I hope he's healthy when it's time to go. I hate the Baron Browning loss. And I really would love to have two bookends pass rushers. I don't feel like we have top tier pass rushers, which is a problem. But for some reason, our defense is still pretty stout. But we would be even next level if we get one of them elite pass rushers. And I thought that we had one coming with Baron Browning, but him being injured kind of messes that up. Hopefully he comes back soon. Randy Gregory's decent. Coop is decent. I think Nick Benito is going to take a big step forward this year. That's my one concern on defense is, like, I don't feel like we have a daunting pass rush. And that really plagued us last year too, especially when it's closeout time. When it was time to finish games and they had to pass on us, we had a lot of games where we were up a whole touchdown, but we just couldn't get to the quarterback when it mattered most. That's my one concern on defense. But on offense, I'm excited, especially if we can stay healthy. I'm like, you got McGlinchey, who I've loved since he was at Notre Dame. You got Bowles coming back, added Powers. Offensive line is like night and day. We were on third string guys the whole season last year, mostly.
Third and fourth string.
We were crazy.
We were going to the back of the bus. Like,
and then I don't know if you ever
and we still kept up. We were still, within a touchdown's worth for most of the, like, we didn't get washed out for most of those games. Like, we still held our own pretty good. It wasn't like any of that. So
today we lost 9 games by 7 or less, 5 by 3 or less. So it's like we were kind of right there in spite of having the most people on IR, a horrible head coach, and an out of shape quarterback going through a lot. I don't know if you saw the Ryan Leaf report, but Ryan Leaf was talking. This was last season. He was talking about this. He's like, yo, this mindset coach, there's this mindset coach that Russell Wilson has had his entire NFL career, who's also was Ryan Leaf's mindset coach. And he's like some kind of genius that helps you get your mind right. And I don't mean Ryan Leaf when he was in the NFL. I mean Ryan Leaf after he started overcoming his struggles with addiction and stuff like that. Like, thriving in life now. This mindset coach has been foundational, like reliable for Russell Wilson. This is according to Ryan Leaf. He died just before last season. So Russ is now transitioning to a new team, new head coach, new system, new locker room, and doing it without the dude who kept his mind right. So I'm like, well, that's a big deal. I don't know why people talk about that.
That's major.
You know what I mean? That's like, imagine your personal trainer for your body. You train with him your whole career, and then you don't have him no more. Your mind is even more important than your body, especially as the quarterback position. Like, especially, this is the first time I can remember Russell Wilson having the world tease him. Like, they're making fun of his commercials. They're saying he's washed. They're saying he's overpaid. Like, the whole world is attacking everything about him. Friends,
everything about it. Like, his personal relationship. Like,
only 20 teammates came to his
about
birthday.
his wife or anything? Yeah, they don't know anything.
And then, so you got them, the media scrutiny. You got him struggling for the first time for real in his career. And he doesn't have his guy, his mindset coach, to keep his mind right. You know what I mean? And I'm like, that's got to be a lot for anybody, especially in a locker room where there's not great established leadership. Nobody in that locker room is looking at Nathaniel Hackett and going, I'm riding with you. I trust you, bro. Like, nobody. You didn't earn it. You didn't earn me wanting to trust
nobody. We just were like, okay, here's our next guy. And, he doesn't, I mean, as much as I do love Russell Wilson, and he did have a great coach for a very long time. And I don't know what happened between him and Pete Carroll, but there is a difference between him and like a Peyton Manning. And maybe he'll get to that status, at some point, but like the leadership quality, like he has all the talent and all the qualities for it, but there's something to it that Peyton Manning, maybe he endured more, or there was just a difference in that. But there's a reason why we have coaches, why we have any manager, why we have leadership in general, is because those people who can step up to that and guide people and bring them along. It takes a lot to be a quarterback and a leader of your team, and then changing from something that he's only been with Seattle for so long, and then boom, he gets switched, and he's being called washed up or whatever. That in itself, I wanted to believe it was going to be amazing, but how hard had last year, and he still endured. He still put on a good face. He's got a heart of gold, and he's not giving up on our team. That's what makes me so optimistic for this year, is because the bounce back for people like him, rebound, huge. I think that's just gonna be like, you know what? I showed up, couldn't make it happen for this, that, and the other. A coach is a huge part, but I think he's got it in him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people always say, like, I'm an apologist. I always make excuses for people because I really want to see the best in them and be hopeful for the Broncos. And I am biased. I'm not going to deny that. However, week 1, 1 yard line, fumble Javonte, 1 yard line, fumble Melvin, right? It's like, bro, he was really lighting it up. People don't realize, like, when it was all said and done, we could have put a lot of points on the board. We could have blew them out, and he would have finished the game. There was a drop touchdown by a tight end. Like, we could have really ran it up on Seattle week 1, but it didn't work like that. Early, you lose Javonte for the season.
Yes.
Melvin ends up getting traded because his fumbleitis just would not go away or released, right? So your running backs are gone. Your O-line, like we talked about, kept being this backups were playing almost across the board. Our only real, like, top tier lineman was on IR ASAP with Garrett Bowles. And then before the season even started,
and he was just like, we were, coming back to rely on him because that was Mr. Irreliable before that. So it was just like, oh, thank God you're showing up now. Like, finally.
And then Tim Patrick out for the year. Then you got Court Sutton not looking like Court last year. He really looked like he lost a step. They're saying he's looking explosive again this year, but he looked not the same. Then you got Judy, Hamler constantly in and out the lineup, getting hurt. Court got hurt a few times. Everybody was banged up. And then it's just a lot of
it was all the potential in the world, literally, like the most talent if it could have just come together. But like what the guys and I talk about on Orange Weekly all the time is just like, gelling as a team, and like the inconsistencies. If you're injured, it's not going to come together like that. And then especially if you don't have a head coach that can't make you guys, even with the little things, the injuries in itself coming down to logistics, like they're getting started with this summer of stretching enough and, putting together that kind of thing, which is what it takes. I mean, you guys are elite athletes. And so I think that kind of thing Sean Payton's going to bring to the table for these guys, making them do the little things, the ABCs of the football before we get going with it. So, even here in the early, it's June still, we got some time. But that's time to build, and that's time to get us energized as a football team. I've seen pictures of Russell lately. He looks great.
Yeah, he definitely looks like he lost 5-10 pounds. He looks a little leaner. He looks like, which is good for this time of year because he really doesn't start leaning out normally till like right when the season about to start. So I think he's going to come in a little lighter, which will make him a little quicker, which is important at that age, especially.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause he needs his legs. When he's running a little bit, when he adds that element to his game, he's a totally different player. I'm excited about this team, man. Like we said, we lost 9 games by a touchdown or less. I don't think you can spend $240 million in free agency, which is what we did. Trade essentially Nathaniel Hackett for Sean Payton at head coach. Get half your team back from IR and not be a touchdown better. Like I'm like, yo, I think we would have won all 9 of those games are wins this year. That's how I see it. I really think we got dramatically better, on both sides of the ball because we had tons of injuries on defense too. People don't realize that. Like we had tons of injuries on defense. And I get we lost Brad Chubb, but he's always injured anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
But, even Caden Stearns, man, this team is going to be really good. I really think it's going to be like the team that people are quick. Like week 6, we're not going to be a secret no more. I think people are going to be like, yeah, the Broncos are coming. And we can't like overstate how inept Nathaniel Hackett was. Like I really thought he was a cool dude. And I cut him a lot of slack last year because I'm going to ride for you. I'm going to protect you when you're on my team. If you're not on my team, I'm going to keep it 1,000. And the thing is, I was at the week 2 game, the home opener.
Yeah.
And we are literally counting down the play clock for this man. Like 10, 9. So he doesn't get another delayed game. He had like 5 delayed games. I'm like, bruh, what are you doing? Then he has to hire a dude to help him manage the game. Then he relinquishes the play call. Like he was just, I don't know what the heck I'm doing.
And all the wasted timeouts at the end, you're just like, why? You shouldn't leave a game with any kind of timeout still under your belt. Like, what are we doing?
Then when we finally move on, our last the interim head coach, we're playing a playoff-bound Chargers team. We beat them. Russ has 3 touchdowns. And we played the Kansas City Chiefs as champs. And we came this close to beating them. And honestly, to me, it was a bad no call. We could have beat them. And we were missing everybody.
Everybody. Nobody could even. By the way. Yeah, no, people couldn't even name the players on our team. They're just like, they're just numbers at that point.
We should be encouraged by that. Some people are like, well, I still don't know about Russ. And I'm like, yo, Russ showed me enough. I saw enough. Just them 2 games without Nathaniel Hackett, I saw no. Russ is still Russ. Nathaniel Hackett was the problem. Because Russ got 2 games with a different guy, and all of a sudden he's doing these boots, throw on the run to Jerry Jeudy down. I'm like, he's running for touchdown. Like, I'm like, okay, Russ looked like Russ again. So clearly, I don't think Russ was the problem.
I don't think so either.
So I'm really encouraged about the Broncos. I think people are going to be really, not Bronco fans, not real Bronco fans, not Bronco gang. That's for dang on sure. We know what time it is, but the mainstream media, the casual.
They're gonna. I mean,
surprised. They're like, oh wow, I wasn't expecting this to be this good, but I am expecting it. I want that to be known. I'm expecting the Broncos to win at least, and I really am a 17-0 till proven otherwise type of dude. Really 20-0 because I think we're winning the Super Bowl every year and going undefeated till we don't. But I'm gonna be honest. I think we will win at least 13 games.
Nice.
And I think we're beating the Chiefs twice this year.
Yes, we're so due. Oh my God! Speaking of Chiefs, we got Frank Clark. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I like that's a great pickup for Baron Browning. That really does what Baron did for us last year, like numbers wise. That's like he's replacing that. But I thought Baron was going to take a huge step, and I think Baron's ceiling is way higher than Frank Clark. But I do think Frank Clark is a good addition, especially if. Baron Browning could come back pretty soon. He's not out for like an extended period of time. They're saying he's going to start on PUP, but I'm like, yo, hopefully it's like 4 or 5 weeks. It ain't nothing crazy. Because Baron Browning, he has the potential to be special. His lean is Von Miller-esque. And I know that's crazy to make Von Miller.
No, it's not. It's realistic. It really you're 100% right on that.
That lean is special. That first step and that lean, that angle to be able to run with your body almost like parallel to the ground like that. There's very few people in the NFL that can do that. And when I watch him, I'm like, he reminds me.
Baron Browning's got it. He's got
Von Miller. And obviously Von Miller's skills take him to a whole nother stratosphere. He's by himself with his relentless motor and just his pass rushing moves, his mind, how he plays the game. Like he'll plan like I'm a cut inside on him.
I mean,
in the
it's
third
like he
quarter.
doesn't even have
But
to
the
think
whole
about
first
it.
2 quarters, I'm gonna just bull rush outside, so they're not expecting me to cut back in. Vaughn plays chess as a pass rusher.
Yeah,
So I hope
and
Darren Brown goes to his
everybody's
camp. I don't
playing
know if he went
checkers.
to his
I
pass
hope
rush summit, but he need to go to the summit, learn everything he can from Vaughn.
Yeah, I hope he can make it back for sure.
Yeah.
Because he is something special, brings something dynamic to the game.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, this team's gonna be good, man. We're gonna be fun to watch. Which game you going to?
I'm hopefully gonna make it out for one of the winter games. I'm not quite sure yet. Definitely, I've got all my gear to come out there and be bundled up in our brand new, revamped stadium with the screens and everything. Are you hitting it up at the beginning of the season? Or are you going to make it out for any of the games? Because I know you're on the East Coast. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go to the home opener against the Raiders because I just like the vibes of the home openers.
Yeah.
Like the home opener is always super fun to me, especially when it's the first game of the year. Like I like when it's like the season opener happens to be at home. I love that. And Miami, I love Miami. So any opportunity to go to Miami, I'm going.
And I think that'll be my goal this year because all my games. I hit up in Denver, or when I lived in Los Angeles, I'd go down to San Diego and hit those games up. But I think I'm going to make it a goal this year to hit a stadium that I've never seen before because that's something for me. It's always a vibe to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
Don't you? I mean, we're not going to have any out of country games this year, but like you with your Bronco game, you guys did like Germany. Did you guys do that?
Yeah, I did 2 Bronktoberfest in Germany where I had a watch party in like this cave. It's a bar, but it was like a cave from the 1600s. It was like cobblestone. It was so crazy with those giant beer glasses. And we had like 100+ Bronco fans in a cave with a stage in it. And we had a movie theater screen where we watched the game, and I did like a concert. Performed a bunch of songs too. It was crazy. And I went to Oktoberfest while I was out there the first time. And then last year I saw tons of Bronco gang members went to London. I wish I could have made that trip too, but it was nice to see we were out there repping.
Yeah. That's
but yeah, I don't know. You haven't been to the Miami Stadium?
I haven't been there yet. Maybe I'll have to.
If you decide to go,
make that happen.
Yeah, if you decide to go though, don't make the mistake I made and sit up in the front, man.
No.
Because there's no shade. You gotta sit back so you can get that roof shade. You know what I mean? I was sitting front row. I didn't even want to go to the game in person. That's how much I love Miami Beach. We had this crazy condo in Miami Beach. I was like, yo, can't we just watch it in the living room? And I had front row tickets, 50-yard line. And I was like, I don't want to go. Please, let's just stay here. Let's stay at the crib because it was so nice, man. And then I went to the game. We lost. And I was like so hot. The sun was just beating on me the whole time. I was like, I hate it. But I was like, next time I come, I'm sitting back. I'm sitting back far enough that I'm in the shade, and then you can really enjoy it. Because it is a cool vibe, but it's too hot, man.
Yeah, for sure. No, I can understand that. Quality problem of being at a game and comfortable in the weather. It's either, too hot or too cold. It's just like, dang.
I hate being in the sun at games, man. Especially if I wear the eye black, because then I get these ridiculous tan lines I can't get rid of for like a month. Oh, I look crazy.
Then you just have to put them on the same spot every time after that. For
one time I had to go. I came home and went to the tanning salon. I said I got to try to even this out, man. I look crazy. It was Seattle, matter of fact. It was the first time I went to Seattle. I had the worst tan lines in the history of man, yo. It was bad.
Oh God, I can believe it because the sun up here in the Pacific Northwest is different than.
It was different.
It was just like
day though. It was such a beautiful day out there. We lost in overtime. Russell Wilson got the ball first and did what Russell Wilson is capable of. People sleep on Russ, man. They're gonna wake up.
They're gonna wake up this year. I mean, I get it all the time living out here. I mean, especially since I rep pretty hard. You know me. And it's like, whoa, what do you think about Russell Wilson? I'm like, I believe in him. I've seen his talent. I absolutely still think he has time under his belt. He's definitely not washed up. And what do I think about him? I think he changed teams, and that was really hard. And I think he just needs to make a couple adjustments, but I don't think he doesn't have it. He has it. And you guys have a lot in common, right? Like, you guys are men of faith, driven, hardworking people. Like, you and him are synchronized in a lot of different ways. Family men, like.
Yeah, and my favorite number is 3, and we both wear our black.
There you go. There you go. See, I believe it.
But I think he's a lot harder working than me. I'll tell you that right now. A lot harder working than
I don't know. You work pretty darn hard. I've been a fan of yours. I can't even lie. I've been a fan of yours for a very long time. Appreciate what you've done for the Broncos community. Been an advocate for your Broncos game. I appreciate your other works of art that you do inside yourself. I mean, you have something inside of you that is amazing. I don't know if enough people know Jimmy's soul, your music, SOL, the sun. It's beautiful. What you do for the world with your talent is amazing. I truly, truly appreciate you. I'm a big fan of yours and an advocate forever.
I definitely appreciate the support, and I'm grateful to be able to make the art that I make, and that God gives me the songs that He gives me. But yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy making music, but music never feels like work to me. Maybe that's why I say that, because when I'm making music, I don't consider that work at all. But the other stuff, trying to market the music and social media and editing and emails and pitching and stuff like that stuff, I could do a lot more of. But I really don't like it, and I'm not that hard of a worker. I'm kind of lazy, but I don't know. I got to get my stuff together. I got to be a little bit more dedicated and disciplined, but I don't know. My life, I really enjoy chilling with my children. I love going for walks. I like to pray.
Yeah.
I like to, keep my mind right. I used to, when I first started being the Mad Fanatic, I had this like deep need for like validation from the world. So I was chasing. It was like such a fuel for me. Like, I want the whole world to tell me I'm great. So I used to work really hard. But ever since I started really going to therapy and praying and becoming like a healed version of myself, I haven't had that kind of crazy over the top motivation that I used to have. But I want to get it back. Like, I watched the Louder Road to 50 documentary. Every time I watch that documentary, I'm like, man, that dude was something. That version of me had a drive that was just different. Like, people don't understand the dedication that year took, like the sacrifices, because we didn't have any money like that. And like, I remember I wanted to do a tailgate concert for free in the parking lot for the Packers game, because I was like, I want to promote this campaign that we would need to get the music in the stadium so the Broncos could win. So if the crowd gets fired up when the time matters most. And I was like, I think a tailgate concert would really help us promote this. But we didn't really have no money, but we could get a flight out of Atlanta for like $40. For some reason, Atlanta flights were so cheap.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, well, how am I gonna get to Atlanta though? So I found this, we call it China bus, which is like this coach bus ran by this Chinese company. Is like $20, but it's like a 16-hour ride, or maybe even 20 hours.
Wow.
First, you got to take a train to New York, then a subway to this Chinatown in New York, and then you got to take the bus all the way down. Yo, we would do crazy stuff like this just to save some money to go throw a free concert. Like, we weren't playing that year, yo. It was like the dedication. We really believed. I did especially. I really believed, like, if the fans were fired up, the Broncos would win the Super Bowl. And I really felt like I had been given this gift to help people get fired up. And I was like, I'm stewarding this gift well. I'm gonna get people fired up. I don't care what I have to go to do it. And when I got to go to the Super Bowl and we won the Super Bowl,
right,
like,
you did it.
It was all worth it.
You changed the weather. Like you were formative in that year.
It was so worth it, man.
Look at I'm in your gear from that year because I was in it too. Like we did it. You did it.
We did it. The fans did it. I did my part. I mean, the team did it too. Don't get it twisted. You built. Yeah, the defense was sick that year. But I feel like our fans supported that team, man.
We're still there. I mean, we'll always have those people who fall off if they can't win. They're like, I'm out. But you know what? That's not us. That's not any of the true, and that's what you've built with your Bronco game is anybody who is true through and through, they're gonna stick it out no matter what. These last 7 years, they've kind of sucked. We've been good. We haven't been good, and we haven't won, but we're still here and we still believe, and we're not gonna give up. Yeah. And that is like, through what you've built with your Bronco gang community, it's amazing. It's given me purpose. I've met friends. I have new friends, people that I've never would have met ever before. People that I've never even seen face to face, and they're my friends. I am so grateful for what you've built. It's awesome.
Yeah, I love Bronco game, man. I started it because I'm an out-of-state fan. I live in Connecticut, like you said, the East Coast. Yeah. And my first game I went to, we were playing the Jets out here, and I went there, and my brother's a Jets fan, but I was just like surrounded by Jets fans, no Bronco fans. Like I wanted to cheer for the team and enjoy the game, and Jet fans were like, "Sit down and shut up." I was like, "Yo, can I enjoy the game?" And it was just like, damn, I'm by myself. I would go to the bar to watch the game back when I didn't have Sunday ticket. And they would stick me in the corner with the little TV. And I was just like, yo, I got to find other Bronco fans. And then when I started making music about Broncos, I started seeing like, yo, there's Bronco fans all over the place. And now they're reaching out to me. And I'm like, okay, I need to share this with the world. If I could create some kind of database, a member map was the first idea I had. It was like, what if I could create a map where I knew where the real, because that's the other thing. I was always a snob when it came to fandom. Like, I don't want to be around the fans that as soon as we throw an incomplete pass, like, oh, you suck, blah, blah, blah. Like, yo, get away from me with that energy. I don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? We're fans over here. Yeah, we're rooting for them. We're believing them. Even if they suck, first of all, they don't suck. Nobody in the NFL sucks. Right? They were the best player on their Pop Warner team, best player on their high school team, best player they're elite players. At this level, confidence is so important. It's so important. And when you tell somebody that drops a pass, even elite players like Demaryius Thomas, God rest his soul, they can get in his head like, yo, you yelling at me, you putting more pressure on me to catch the pass. I'm feeling like I don't want to get yelled at. I'm thinking so much about it. Now I got what they call the dropsies. But if I tell you, come on, DT, you got that, bro. You DT. Don't forget who you are, baby. You DT. Let's go. It's like you're light with it. Like, yeah, you're right. You don't even carry no weight and pressure. You feel encouraged and supported by the fans. And I feel like when I see the fan base booing our team, first home game of the year, when I see like this kind of stuff is what inspired the MadFanatic in the first place. Because I was on the Bronco forums, Bronco Country forums or whatever they were, the official Bronco forums. Yeah. When I first started the MadFanatic thing. And I was just trying to tell people like, yo, we about to turn it around this year. Tim Tebow going to get a chance to play. We were picking number 2 overall. We were the second worst team in football. And I was just trying to speak like, and I believed it. I'm like, man, we're going to bounce back. We got Tebow. We're going to be nice this year. Watch. Everybody was like, bro, you crazy. We suck. And I'm like, yo, these are Bronco fans? Because the Bronco fans I thought were the Bronco fans from a distance, from Connecticut. I'm thinking about my man with no clothes on. I'm thinking about Barrel Man. And I'm like, I thought Bronco fans were like this dude, like
Yeah.
dedicated, love the team,
Yeah.
dressed up crazy, that Bronco mania. So I was like, yo, I wanna make a song to motivate these fans, just on the forum. And then I posted my song on the forum. It was a YouTube link. I made the YouTube just to post it on the forum for like 20 people that I argue with consistently. And next thing I know, 30,000 people are listening to the song and players are tweeting about it. And I'm like, oh shoot, I can get motivating these guys. I can motivate the players. I can motivate the fans in the stands. I could really try to get people fired up and confident, because confidence is so important. Like when you believe you can do something, you can do it. If you believe you can't, you can't. Like whatever you believe, you're right. You know what I mean? Like if you believe you can do it, you can do it. But if you don't believe you can do it, you can't do it. You have
Yeah.
to have some level of faith. Faith is so important. And I love this whole Broncos journey too. Like speaking of who I am now and who I really always been, but really, really have discovered who I really am. Like I realize how important faith has always been to me. But I really feel like God was so strategic in placing me in this world when he did, how he did, why he did. Because it's like I started with Tim Tebow, Tebowing Tebow. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I started with that baby faith, like, look, you rock with God, you can win games, angels in the outfield style, right? But
Yeah.
now it's a deeper level of faith. Like you got Russell Wilson, who's on that same vibe, but it's like not spiritual milk. It's like real lessons. Like last year, he was at the podium talking about, one of my favorite scriptures, which is my favorite scripture, James 1:2-4. He said, count it all joy when you face many trials, because it is the testing of your faith that produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so you can be made perfect, complete, lacking nothing. And it's like
Mhm.
Broncos going through this testing, count it all joy, because this is producing something in us that's going to make us champions. This is going to make us like a quality team that's been battle tested, that knows how to deal with the adversity, right? As opposed to everything going great, and then when adversity hits, you find out you're not really made of much.
Yeah,
Like this
there's
team
something through
weathered the storm of
trials
the
and
adversity. Yeah,
tribulations, adversity, and you've driven through perseverance. And
yeah,
because if you're just giving it, and it's all good all the time, you're not having the heartbeat. You're not up and down. There's no way to appreciate,
yeah,
and that's what a true champion gets to.
yeah,
It's not just I'm good all the time.
yeah,
You could trip and fumble and get back up and, wipe yourself off and then take off. And that is the real champion. And I feel like this is going to be the next level of everything. But it starts with exactly what you were talking about, of like confidence, the way you talk to yourself, the way other people can talk to you, the way that you've inspired, through music. You have a gift with words, with things that, some people can never do, but it brings us all together. And it's inspiring, it's fun, it's just like your music has been in the Broncos stadium. Your music has been on TV, and it is inspiring. You are you're practicing what you preach. And even if you felt like you took a dip here or there, that's for a reason too.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's
I'm on an interesting journey, because I realized that my purpose in life is to be a light and lead people to Christ by being who I am, by being a
Mhm.
vessel that loves people, that's kind, that cares, that has faith. Like just an example of what it's like to really follow Jesus, not to just be like,
Yeah.
you just talk it, like you really walk it. But what I'm seeing, the beautiful opportunity that I have now is like, look, I have a network of people with incredible faith
Yeah.
in a football team, which is
Yeah.
awesome. I celebrate their faith, right? I love having the faith in the football team. But my testimony is now like, yo, our faith is dope. The faith that we have in the football team is crazy. But let me just tell you my story.
But
When
you
I
can
started
level
putting
up.
my faith in God and trusting him in good seasons and bad seasons and following him regardless, like I do with this football team, now I'm not addicted to alcohol and marijuana. Now I can tell the truth about shame I've been carrying for a decade with infidelity. Now I'm not 70 pounds overweight. You know what I mean? It's like my life is changing for the better. I'm starting to love me, and I'm not chasing validation and things like that. And I'm working, like, spending more time being present with my kids, and my values are more, my priorities are in order now. You know what I mean? So now my message is like, hey, let's continue to have great faith. Let's continue to enjoy football. But I encourage you to put that same faith in God and watch what it does for you in your life. Watch what happens.
Well, that's an incredible, inspiring thing that, anybody who's watched your evolution through your journey, and, that's what I enjoy about you quite a bit is, you're not afraid to put it all out there. You're a very humble and inspiring person. And I love that about you.
Appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. I know a lot of my fans miss the diss records. I was thinking about doing
it doesn't. One of my really good friends, and I'm gonna have him on this show too, doing a little interview with him. He shows up at the games. He's a beautiful human being. He's Mr. Bronco. He shows up in his Sunday best, and Justin Grimmett's a very, very great man. And there was something that he told me years ago, because I've known him my entire life. I was very
Is that, like, does he actually call himself Mr. Bronco? Because I feel like I know who that is.
Yeah, he wears the white
suit. Actual suit.
Yeah,
the
white suit. And so I've known him my entire life, and his sister was one of my best friends. God rest her soul. She passed away a few years ago. And there's something that resonated with him that he told me years ago, because people would be like, hell yeah. And he's like, nope, I learned from, this random man on the street. We don't say hell yeah. We say heaven yes, because it feels better in our soul. Yeah. And so it always raise up. And so it's we could do hell yeah. And that's the thing with, like, the diss tracks for me. It's kind of like, and they're fun. I'm all about that. It's kind of, and they're, you're very clever with everything. But there's something about a heaven yes and, like, lifting up that just, it feels better with everything. And he taught me that. It was a lesson passed on through him that I took. And I just, when people tell me hell yeah, I'm like, heaven yes, I kind of switch it around. It just feels better. It just feels better to, like, lift up instead of, like, the dissing down. Sure, we can do that. You
don't have to. You really don't have. Like, I get it. Like, TheMadFanatic, and I built kind of my fan base doing that. And it was like, but I realized somewhere along the way, like, yo, I don't have to tear them down to big us up.
Nah.
And you know what? It's so untrue for me now. It's like some things about me
and that's okay.
Legitimately changed. When I used to go to the grocery store,
that's evolution.
When I go to the grocery store now, when I used to go to the grocery store, if I ran into anybody with any jersey other than the Broncos, I'm instantly telling them, "Oh, that team, your team trash." Like, Broncos, like, it's just instantly I want to talk junk to them in that way. Like, we're great and you suck. Right now, when I run into people, and it's not forced, it's just who I am now, and I can't fake it. It's like, I got a dude on my street. I see him every day. He's a 75-year-old man, loves the Miami Dolphins. When I talk to him, anybody, it's like I look for what I can celebrate about his team. I'm like, oh man, Tua can stay healthy. You guys would be nasty, man. Yo, you got some weapons. Tyreek ain't no joke. You got Waddle. Like, man, you guys are coming. That's gonna be a good game when we come play you. I'm like, I see everybody's greatness.
Yeah, I feel like I've evolved like that too.
If I do songs for the games, I'm like, yo, I'll do them for marquee games where it's needed, where, if we see ourselves like grasshoppers, if we don't think we're good enough to beat the Chiefs, I'll definitely come and say, wait a minute now, Broncos some big horses. Don't get it twisted. Like, we're not underneath them. We here. You know what I mean? Don't forget who we are. I can remind you who we are. I can help lift us up after losses. I can encourage us and acknowledge that they're good. But I can still be like, yeah, but what they gonna do about Tim Patrick? What they gonna do about this? And you know what? They might have this dude, and he is nice. But I'm a bet on PS2. How about that? You know what I mean? I like my chances with PS2. That's a totally different energy than, yo, you guys suck and you have no defense, or you this or that. You know, Brad Chubb, you got traded for a coach. Like, I could think of this stuff to say, but I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do that because
it doesn't feel
Brad
good.
Chubb's amazing. You know what I mean? All these dudes are amazing, and it's like, I don't want to be who I think you need me to be for you to like me. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna be who I am, and if you like it, cool. If you don't, that's okay too.
Yeah, I know, and I think you could be totally onto something of like, you know, we just go on eliteness. We could do hype songs, you know, after a win. You know, it doesn't have to be like. But we still can appreciate where you came from, and those songs were fun for what they were, but they just don't sit well for where you're going, and that's okay too. But you know, that's the perfect thing about your craft and about what you can do is you're creative, and you know, the universe and God are going to give you your next step in it, and I think we're on the up and up, and I totally appreciate that. Like, I used to hate other football fans too. It's like, you know, I still kind of hate the Raiders. I can't lie about that, but
no, I definitely hate the Chiefs. Don't get it twisted. I definitely hate the Raiders, and I definitely hate the Chiefs. But to be honest with you, I think Andy Reid's an incredible coach.
Incredible. He's incredible.
I think Patrick Mahomes is
super talented,
out of this world talented. Yeah. I love Travis Kelce. I think he's one of the coolest people on earth and super talented. Like, I have so much respect for them players on them teams. You know what I mean? Too. I'm not like, yo, I just hate that they're so good and they keep beating us. But I also believe that we're coming. Don't get it
I do too.
We're coming. We're winning twice this year. Probably 3 times. We might end up playing in the playoffs too. And I know it's hard to beat somebody 3 times. But if we run into them,
that's your number.
We're going 3-0. We're going 3-0. If we run into them 3 times, we're going 3-0 this year. The Broncos are going to have their number this year. It's long overdue.
Bold prediction. Yeah, no, we're overdue, but too much to be just hating on everything with it. All in all, football's a game. It's a game.
It is.
And when it comes down to it, it should still just be fun.
Yeah.
And we got.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
I was gonna say there was this freestyle on Garage Den that we did when we played the Chiefs. This is way back, that Super Bowl 50 year. And I remember there was a line I said, see, on the field, maybe we're rivalries on the field or something. I said, but off the field, we're human beings. And I was like, because I started off and I said, can we say a prayer for Eric Berry? And Ferguson, because what's happening there is scary. See, I forgot what I said, but it was like, yo, even then, I still was always a human. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I've always known that humanity matters most. That's my favorite thing about Bronco Gang is really like the Sack Hunger events and toy drives and like utilizing our strength in numbers to be a blessing to our communities.
Well, and you know, you donate what? You have your 51 cause, is that what it's called? And you 51. Just like Cause 51. Yeah, you donate so much of everything that you raise, you know, through merchandise and your music, selling that. Like you put it back into the community. Like you're not just all about the talk. Like you literally put it into action and give back.
And the people do, because it's really their money. You know what I mean? I put my own personal money too, but I take the money that is given and I say the majority of it's going right back out to something more important. But I just love, like, even in other cities, like especially other cities, honestly, when we go to it, because it started off in Seattle. We went to Seattle and we had this huge tailgate party. I didn't throw the tailgate party at all. I just got the idea from them when I was there. Somebody was like, yo, we got all this food we're about to just throw away. They're like, yo, there's a homeless shelter like 2 blocks away. Let's go feed some people.
Yeah.
And then I participated. You know what I mean? I just participated in it. And I was like, this was one of the most amazing things I've ever done.
I love that.
And that same trip, we did a march, 500 people singing "Your 12th Man Ain't Nothing" through their downtown. And it still was like, that wasn't the highlight of my trip. That was amazing. But that moment, giving those people food was different. It hit different.
So, yeah.
And after that, I was like, yo, from now on, we need to start doing this as a regular thing. Like, let's go do this even at advance for you. Like, if there's a game Sunday or I'm doing a concert on Friday, on Saturday, let's link up. Let's go buy some food at Costco's. Let's go downtown as a group and feed some people. Let's go to the children's hospital and go talk to some people, spend some time. Let's show up for people. Why not?
Yeah.
We're in all 50 states and 30 different countries. Why not show up for these communities that we're a part of? Why not use our strength in numbers? Because it honestly, it's like, yo, if I bring $10, if I put $10 into this and 40 other people do, it's like, yo, I could get like 2 24-packs of water bottles with my $10. You know what I mean? We could get more of that. We could get some sandwiches. We could get some toothpaste, a little travel toothpaste.
Yeah, you can get something like socks, everything. Yeah, I mean, you could make 40 back. Everybody donates $10. You know, you're making backpacks with essentials. Like, that's getting passed off, and that is huge. You know, the gift of giving. It's amazing, and I know, you know, all the money might not automatically come from you, but you've generated it, and you've done a really good job of, you know, motivating people and using your talent to have everybody else be included in that process, and whether they're to give the food away or not, you know, everything that you do, it's truly incredible. I mean, the world's a better place because you've been trying so hard and you do so much. So,
appreciate
you know.
it.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we can continue to inspire more people to use their, you know, their presence, just being available for people. Just
showing up is a huge thing.
Just showing up and knowing that it's not all about you. You know what I mean?
There's something that's way more than like, there's a way bigger picture than, you know, the self thing. And and once people realize to get outside their own little globe, and but it's day by day, and it's not perfect, and it's you know, it's like a heartbeat. It's up and down, and all. But the most important thing is just to keep going with it, and keep showing up, do the best you can, and on your bad days, it's okay too. That's okay too.
Yeah.
You know, we're just human beings having spiritual, you know, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and so
ain't that the truth?
And I can't even express how grateful I am, because I was able to link up with your Bronco gang years ago, and I
was looking at your application today. I was like, oh, what is he doing? You know, and I was looking. It was 2014. We were less than a year old.
Yeah.
That's when you signed up. And I was like, yo, you are a fan since 85. I was like, was she born in 85? How old were you in 85?
I was born, But we're, you know, my whole family is big time Bronco fans. My brother, you can catch me at 3 years old in my sweatshirt. And would hit up
your favorite player growing up was Elway, I assume?
Oh, yeah. Actually, Shannon Sharp and Terrell Davis were high on the list too, though.
Yeah. That team.
They were something else, and you know, I was there when Mile High Stadium was up and Invesco was up at the same exact time. I went to the last regulation game, and you know, it's been everything, and I haven't even lived in Colorado for over 20 years now, but it's still something that it's a part of me. It is who I am, and I love that. It's the other fans, and it's a joy in my life, and sport in itself, being competitive, having something to work for. I can relate to that. And not that I was ever an elite athlete, but athleticism was always important to me, and I love it. So I was super grateful when I came across Bronco Gang. I was like, yep. Count me in. Here I
go. That's what's up. This year I'm gonna start a show called Bronco Gang Weekly.
Oh yeah.
Where every week I have like somebody in Bronco Gang co-host the show with me, and we talk about what's going on that week.
Sweet.
And so like it'll be just like this one week. Like you're one of the guests, but I want to start it. You know my song Lunatics? You remember the song? Let me tell you about a member in the gang. Go by the name Luna.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I want to make a couple bars for whoever the guest is. So I'm like, let me tell you about a member in the gang. Go by the name Ayla. Do it. You know what I mean? And then
what would you say about your girl Ayla?
I was thinking about it. I was like, your last name is Dor, right?
Yeah.
I was like, go by the name Ayla Dor. She been repping them Denver Broncos before the age of 4. And then I said, I'm talking way back 1985. Favorite player John Elway. And then I was like, give it up for my girl Ayla. She gonna co-host with me today or something like that. I don't remember. There was like Bronco Gang weekly, and it's like the intro to the show. I'm gonna do like 2 bars about whoever the guest is.
You even in one of your videos, you had people, and you were having us like just admit to like random stuff. It was when I lived in Hawaii, and you gave me the John Elway part in my Elway jersey.
Orange
yes. Yeah. I still like, I rewind that back all the time. I watch that one. I'm like, oh, look, he put me in there right there. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. But yeah, that should be fun. Just chopping it up with all the fans every week.
That would be great. Yeah.
That would be a cool show.
Totally.
So I want to do that. I just want to engage people more and give more people an opportunity to hang out. And I want to do it live. I want to get this StreamYard thing. And I want to figure out, because I've seen people do it live, like where there's people saying stuff while they're talking, and you can respond to the people talking too. I'm like, I want to do that. I want to do have a live element of it too, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So hopefully I can figure it out.
You will. You will. If there's something about you, if you want to do it, you're the guy that makes stuff get done. So I have no doubt in that.
Appreciate it. Appreciate the vote of confidence.
Of course. Well, I've seen it. It's not just building you up. It's because you actually do it. Can't pump you up full of words. You just actually, you do it. You say it, you do it. There's a lot of stuff I admire about you. I'm super grateful. Super grateful you could even give me time of the day to come do this with me. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you as well. If there's anything, I don't know, closing thoughts about this season, or what you're going to be up to, or anything else that you want to get in there.
Just that this is going to be a fun ride. This is going to be the year we celebrate our 10-year anniversary of Bronco Gang. On November 14th, it'll be 10 years of Bronco Gang. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna have like a little party online.
Jeez Louise, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna drop an album called Bronco Gang for Life for the 10-year anniversary. But yeah, I'm excited. This is comeback season. That's
I love it. I love it. I'm gonna have to get one of those.
This is the year we coming back. Bronco Gang.
I need one of those. Look, I repped your 50 gear.
Yeah, I love the 50 gear. I wish I still had the 50 gear. I can't even find my 50 gear.
See, I got my flag. The only one I don't have is a white flag, but I think I've got every single other one. But I'm gonna have to get an out of town flag. I'm gonna have to get a white one. But I've got the flag behind you. I've got my game big one.
You brought the big one to Seattle, right?
Uh-huh.
Word.
I did. That's right.
That's definitely what's up.
But I believe in you.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun year, man. Buckle up. Buckle up. Broncos coming back. I'm excited. Everybody should be excited. Let's be great fans this year. And I know more
Yes,
already
yes,
are.
no,
Let's
yes,
really keep the
yes.
faith. Let's be unwavering. Let's be confident. We don't. I see these fans comment sometimes like, we get our hopes up every year. I'm waiting. I'm taking a wait and see approach. I don't want to get to this point. Listen, it's better. You can get up from being. I think we're winning every year. I get up every year when I'm wrong. It doesn't matter. But let me tell you something. When I bring this same faith to that year we won the Super Bowl 50, it's worth all the other times I didn't believe. Being able to say,
Yeah.
I told you so, I told you you're gonna win. It's worth it. It's worth the difference. Like, don't be
It
afraid
is,
to
and
have
it's
hope, man. You
and
can
it
have
and
joy in your hope.
there's nothing wrong. Circle back to heaven, yes, and it just feels better on your soul to have the hope instead of
Yeah,
being
just have the
negative
hope.
about
Don't
it.
be afraid. Don't be
No,
so afraid to get disappointed. It's okay.
it's
But
and
honestly,
it's okay. And
yeah, we're not gonna
if
get
we don't,
disappointed this year anyway, though.
if we don't win, it's just football. It's a game.
That
It's
is
supposed
very
to be fun. There's
that is
much
very
bigger things in the world,
yeah.
So if we get to when we win and it's fun, let it be fun too, you
Yeah.
know? Like let yourself love having fun. That
Yeah.
is literally it's so much better for your soul.
It is, man. I used to, man, these last year, like these losses sometimes really hurt. But I'll tell you what, this last season, most of the games, we were in them the whole time. I was having a good time
I was having a
until the end
great
of the
time.
game. Like, I was having a good time. I was enjoying the games. I didn't like how they ended. I didn't like losing, but I'm like, this was fun. We were
Yeah.
competitive. I enjoyed watching football. I still enjoy the game. That's why I
Yeah.
still do it, because I'm like, I make gospel music. I love making that music. I love making worship music. I love making music to encourage people. But the reason I still make football music is because I still love football and I still enjoy this game. And I still want to inspire and fire up this fan base.
And you're really good at it.
Thank you. But yeah, so I'm like, I still do it because I still love it. And I hope that the fans don't forget that
Yeah.
even though it's been 7 years losing, not making the playoffs, like, don't you still love it though?
That was
Don't you
after
still
that
love
was after
football?
it was after a Super Bowl win. Only one team
Yeah.
gets to win the Super Bowl
We
every
got
year.
3 of them.
We've got 3.
We've been to that joint like 8 times.
Yeah.
Like, bruh,
Yeah.
we counted them dudes.
So, it's a quality problem to still be in it. And I almost like, I don't know, not to keep going over it, but I'm okay with people like thinking, oh, well, too bad for you guys. You used to be so good. What had happened?
Yeah.
And it's like the chip on your shoulder thing.
Yeah, being
I'm like,
underestimated is fun.
I'm
Like when
kind
they
of ready for
sleeping.
the bounce back. Like,
Yeah, I like when they sleeping on us. I just know it ain't gonna last. I feel like this year, by week 6, people gonna say we was wrong. Russ still nice, and them Broncos better watch out for them.
and we got a coach. We got a coach.
There's no reason for us not to be good. So,
Yeah.
look, hopefully the good Lord keeps our team healthy, and if we stay healthy, watch out.
Yeah, and even if we don't, backups will be backups, and we'll just keep pushing on no matter what, and that's it. Just do the best we can, but I think we're due.
Word. Well, thank you for having me, Ayla.
Yes,
I appreciate the conversation.
Andrew, you are the man. I super appreciate you. The Mad Fanatic, the creator, founder of Bronco Gang, Jimmy Soul, SOL. He creates not just football music, but beautiful, faithful gospel music. Everybody should check it out. He is a man. You seriously do it all in a creative way, and I am super blessed to even know you at all. Thank you for coming to chat, mate.
God bless. Thanks for taking some time away from them kids.
Yeah,
Have
hopefully
a good rest of your night.